Okay, adding a roster. So I log in, I'm on my dashboard, and I have two sections already created. And I'm going to create a roster for varsity. Um, so before I create the roster, I need to see if I have any athletes on my team. And currently, I don't have any athletes. So what I'm first going to do before I create my roster is start to add a few athletes. Um, if I'm a part of a school, there may be existing athletes already in here from other sports, and I can just pull them in into my athletes on my team. And all I would do is select who I want to pull in, and then they would be added to my athletes for my team. But in this case, I'm going to create a new athlete, and all I'm going to do is start by uploading a photo. So I'm going to go to Photos, and I have John Smith here. I click on him, and it's going to upload. Take a second. It's going to process it, and then there's the photo. I'm going to name him John Smith. What grade is he in? I'm going to say he's in 12th grade. I can add his jersey number, his height, his weight. None of these are mandatory. Only the first and last name are mandatory. And then I can also add a little quick bio, like player of the year in, I'll just say last season, team captain. And if I spelled it right, captain, team captain. So I can create a player profile. I can do a little write-up on them, just like you see in a lot of these college programs or websites where they have a little bio on the athlete. Then all I'm going to do is hit Create Athlete, and I've added one athlete right here. I can edit him, I can remove him, I can archive him. So once he graduates, I click on Archive and get that player out of my team. So I'm going to add one more player just to make the example a little bit easier. Upload another photo. I'm going to go with Jane Smith. Take a second to upload. And once again, I'm going to put a name, put a grade, a jersey number. I'm not going to put a bio this time, and I'm just going to create an athlete. Okay, so now I have two athletes in my school, and I'm going to go back into varsity because these are both varsity players. I'm going to add them and create a roster. So I haven't created a roster yet. I'm going to say, yeah, go ahead and create my first roster. What section do I want this in order for it to relate to any news articles I write? I can tag an athlete, and then it would show up in their profile. So you want to make sure that you're in the right section. The name of my roster, again, this is just a way to organize rosters. So if you have multiple rosters, I know some coaches have varsity A and a varsity B, or they have varsity and they have JV, or they want to organize them by grade, and they want to say, here's our roster of seniors, juniors, sophomores. So in this case, again, I'm just going to group all varsity together and call it a varsity roster. And then I get brought to this page, and it says select athletes that you want on this roster. So if it's a varsity roster, I'm going to have all my athletes in here from grade 9 through 12, and maybe I have some freshmen who aren't on the varsity, so I wouldn't select them, right? And so in this case, both Jane Smith and John Smith are varsity athletes, so I'm going to select them and click Save Roster. All right, so there it is. It says I have one roster. It's called Varsity. It has two athletes in it, and it lives in the varsity section. So let's go check it out. Click on Visit Site. I'm going to go to Varsity, Rosters, and then I see there's my two athletes right there, Jane Smith and John Smith, grades 11 and 12. That's all there is to it.